CJ Moynihan, and I'm going to talk about Dark Knight, which is a zero-cost evil champion. So Dark Knight, for me at least, is a high pick in draft, and certain decks will play it in constructed. Now, its main use, a lot of people, I think when they start playing, they play it the wrong way. They play Dark Knight, and they attack, and they play something else. But the best use for Dark Knight is to play it on an empty board for 0, and to attack with it, deal 5 damage to your opponent, and then if they don't play anything, then you just pass with your gold up. This way, they have to either respond by spending their gold first, and that gives you more information, or they play nothing, and then their turn starts, and you have an advantage because you dealt 5 damage to them, and you have something in play, and they have to somehow deal with that. Now, the reason I like it so much in draft is because people have worse answers and a worse quality of answers, so when you have your Dark Knight out, it's a lot harder for them to deal with it. There are a couple cards in Sage and Wild that are really good at dealing with it. In Sage, you have to look out for the 2 damage things, so Force Mage Apprentice and Helion and Blue Dragon all deal 2 damage, but they can still only play any of those on their turn. And Wild has a bunch of ways to deal a little bit of damage. Flash Fire type effects like Wolf's Bite, Draka, Pyrosaur, all of those things, and those are great against Dark Knight, but if your opponent doesn't have any efficient answer to Dark Knight, like 2 damage or 3 damage on their turn that comes with something else, then they're going to keep taking the 5 damage and they're going to have to deal with it in a real way. It's unbreakable, so it just sticks on the board until they get rid of it, or it gets banished or takes damage on their turn. The other big thing about it that is really great is because it's unbreakable on your turn, it works really well with break all effects. So Apocalypse type effects, anything that breaks all champions leaves it in play, and then you can attack with it. So you can even say attack with it, and your opponent has some champions which are expended, and they spend their gold to play something to block it, and then you can play an Apocalypse during combat before they block to break all their champions, and your champion is still going through. That's a best case scenario. But most of the time, if you have Dark Knight in play, then it's good to have other effects that break all champions. Like champions that are unbreakable like Dark Knight work really well with effects that break all champions, but Dark Knight is especially good for this because it's 0, so it's a very safe option. You can always put it in a deck, and it's a threat that you can get on the table if you're either aggressive or if you are slower. Now, I wouldn't say that playing Dark Knight when you already have things out is a bad plan, just that you should gauge where you are in the game and trying to overextend. Try not to get too many things on the board when you don't need to. And Dark Knight is always great on an empty board, so if you can save it, if you're not close to killing your opponent, you already have a lot of things in play, and if you're looking at the board right now and you're saying, if my opponent can get rid of everything next turn, would they? And if the answer is yes, then you probably shouldn't play Dark Knight unless you're 100% sure that they don't have a way to clear the board. The other thing about Dark Knight is it works really well with effects that return to your hand. So as a 0-cost card that has Blitz, if you play it and attack with it, and then return to your hand, you can play it again and attack with it again. So in particular, Time Walker and Reset are really great for this because you can attack with it and then return all champions to their owner's hands, and then play it and attack with it again, and it's back to the whole empty board thing, where your opponent is put in a position where you play Dark Knight, you attack, you end your turn, say they spend their golds, now you can safely Time Walker, reset, get your Dark Knight back, and then play your Dark Knight again and attack with it, and then they take extra damage, and that's something that they always have to worry about.